All right, everybody,
Camera.
welcome in to the Cellini Rounds podcast. I'm your host with the new camera, Dr. Jim Cellini.
A very close-up camera.
Very close-up camera. I haven't quite figured out the lens yet.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Which lens do you have on there?
I have
3x zoom.
I have a Sigma 28 to 70 millimeter lens, and it's on the lowest setting of 28 right now.
Yeah, so it's a little close.
It's a little close.
It's like a 40 millimeter lens or something.
Yeah, I need to get I need to be like over here.
Yeah.
A little more of the body there.
I mean, I have a 16 millimeter.
Jim is so close.
Yeah.
Look at his windows.
That's good. That's good there.
Is that better?
Yeah,
How
that worked out.
about here?
Yeah. Michael, you know when you can like size sync up all the you get like past images and they're like different sizes?
Yeah.
Like, I want to do that with Jim's window, like size
I
sync
know.
all of us so we're all equal sizes across the board.
Yeah, that'd be fun. So, brothers, what have you been up to the last 2 weeks since we last did a podcast?
The last 2 weeks. Michael, you want to go first?
Sure.
Michael works a lot now.
I worked every day. I've
Now.
been getting hammered because we're down a guy in our practice,
Ooh,
so we're just
no.
getting like just annihilated. Everybody's picking up slack everywhere, and I worked one of my long 2 16-hour shifts for a weekend, and then I went straight into another week. And then I stayed late because I had some emergency I had to take care of at the hospital, and then
Oh,
I know late Friday, and I was like finally done. This is my first weekend off in 12 days.
yeah.
Why are you
then-
guys down a doctor?
We just had someone leave our practice, so we're just down
Malpractice
someone.
lawsuit?
You realize, yeah, you realize people don't leave a practice if they get malpractice lawsuit. That's so not what happens.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then after all that 12 days, I was like, all right, now I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m., go work out Saturday, and then play a full round of golf in the sun, and then do it all over the next day. And then now I'm dying. So
You
and
worked out both mornings and then played golf both mornings?
yeah, and went out the
Oh,
nights
that's-
before, and then now I'm on call for 7 days.
Oh God.
That's
what
what am I
like-
doing?
The back-to-back, like I can't do like a heavy hard workout within 24 hours of each other or like less than 24 hours anymore. I have to one has to be light and one has to be like heavy. I can't do back-to-back or I'll be so sore that I can't even move.
That's kind of how I am too.
actually, you just reminded me of a very cool golf story.
Oh yeah? What is it?
I'll pull this up. For
Why would you know a very cool golf story?
Because this
He's
is a
joining
poker
LIV.
player. So
He's
poker players are
I wish.
notorious like golf prop bettors.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
And in 2007, there was a poker player named Eric Lindgren who wagered $340,000 against Phil Ivey and some other guy that he couldn't shoot under 100 in 4 consecutive rounds in one day while playing in 100 plus degree Las Vegas heat while
Oh.
carrying his own clubs while shooting from the pro tees all within one day.
Oh my God.
And he did it.
He did it?
No, he didn't.
He did.
He had to. Has he never played golf before? He's
played golf before, but like
Oh my.
72 holes of golf in one day in the
Oh,
middle of summer in Las Vegas, walking the entire way.
dude.
Oh.
You would imagine how much you'd be sweating just pouring.
Well, they said near the end, he was like, literally, he had to go to the hospital.
Oh.
I remember the story back in the day. This is way back in the day.
About 5 to 6 holes to go. It looked like Lindgren would win
He-
the bet. So he
He
accepted
walked
buyouts on his
almost, he total walking was almost the length of a marathon.
bet. Oh my God. While playing golf in the heat.
I mean, look, after that first Saturday was hotter than Sunday, and I was in a cart it was like 4.5 hour round. I
In
came
a
home.
cart.
I came home, I showered, and I sat on the couch, and I was like, I am beat.
You're like, I got to do this again tomorrow.
If they did it, no, if they told me you gotta do that 3 more times, even in their cart, I couldn't do 3 more times. I can't. I
Oh.
mean, I did exhaust it. I think because I, my swing isn't, mechanics aren't that great, so I like muscle everything. So I get
Yeah.
so tired towards the end of the
Have you? So I've talked to you about, I mentioned this on our group text. You need to get a coach if you want to get better at golf,
Yeah, I'm getting to that point. I want to like,
because all you're
See
going to
if-
do is just reinforce bad mechanics the more you play badly.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I want to.
And then you're going to hurt
Uh,
your back.
Yeah, but you know how I am. I want to figure it out myself. And then eventually, because I know what you have to do, and I spend a lot of time watching botanical videos and stuff and mimicking it.
Guys, your
But-
YouTube, like personal YouTube, just filled with the
Oh,
golf
it's all
stuff.
golf.
Yeah,
I watch just hours and hours of golf.
God.
What do you think about the LIV tour?
I love it. I
You
absolutely
just
love it.
like it because there's big money throwing at them.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just, you know what it is? It's just like, it's just this old heads of the PGA Tour, like the heads of the PGA Tours. They're like, well, you shouldn't play over there.
Yeah.
And then now they have competition and they got the money bags who are just stealing all their players. And they're like, yeah, well, don't you respect the tour guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, well, why don't
Nope.
you pay us what we're worth?
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I tell you, what's his name?
Did you guys
Um,
hear what Tiger Woods got offered?
Yeah, Bill.
He got offered $1 billion to
Oh,
join
he
the
turned
LIV
down.
tour.
I guess he already has $1 billion. So he's
Yeah,
like,
He
know
already
how-
he's got multiple, so
Yeah.
he declined it.
You know how rich you have to be to turn down $1 billion?
Quite rich, as it turns out.
Yeah, that's
I mean, they
ridiculous.
only play like what 12 or 20 matches a year or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only 3
ridiculous.
rounds? Oh, it's
Yeah,
huge.
that's why
Did
it's
we-
LIV is actually like the Roman numeral 54.
Yeah. Do we tell you?
Oh.
Do we talk about what Dustin Johnson said?
No.
Which was my favorite comment ever. I think it was him.
Is he switching over?
He already did.
Oh, yeah. Good for
They
him.
gave him 100 mil,
Oh,
100 mil, or 120 mil. He was like, peace.
I couldn't even describe to you how fast I
Well,
would sign that. If they- if
I
they
mean,
offered me
the
something
purse
like
for some of these tournaments is like, I mean, this is all relative, right? But it's like $2 million to win like a major tournament. Like that's in the grand scheme of professional golf. The PGA is making so much money off of that, and they're
Yeah.
paying the player $2 million, and then Liv's paying him like 20 million for some offshoot tournament.
that. Yeah.
I
But
bet
Dustin,
I bet this bleeds over into other sports like
it
football.
should. I mean, it's competition. It's a free market, free enterprise
Baseball's-
market.
Baseball's pretty safe because those guys don't get like destroyed. They don't destroy their bodies,
Well, they make so
and-
much money too.
and they
already.
make so much money.
Yeah.
But I bet
It's,
you.
in
I think
soccer.
basketball is probably safe, but I bet you football. Those football players, they don't make enough for how much they get killed.
Not
Basketball, they
not-
make so much money that it's like you make $50 million a year. It's like
Right.
it's kind of hard to overmatch that. But
Yeah, that's the thing
soccer
is-
was doing it with the Chinese leagues, weren't they? Like that Chinese Super League.
Were
would
they? I
hi-
don't know about
find
that.
yeah, they would like do transfer fees and these crazy wages for Brazilian soccer players or like famous people in Europe. And they're like, sure. Like I'll go
Yeah,
live in
why
China for
not?
3 years and make
Right, yeah, why
$50 million a year, even though I'm like a mid-level like Liga, like La Liga person.
Yeah, but Dustin Johnson, one of the reporters, because they keep asking them like, "Oh, why are you leaving? You're just doing it for the money." And everybody's like, "Yeah."
Yes.
I mean, why wouldn't I do this for money? I'd play for like 1 year and I can retire.
Yeah.
So they told Dustin Johnson, that one of the interviewers, was like, "So I see now that you're only playing 12 weeks a year. What are you gonna do with the other 40 weeks?"
Oh,
a
yeah.
year?" And he goes, "Whatever I want."
Right.
He's like,
know,
"Well, don't you
live
want to
my
play golf?"
life.
He's like, "No, because I'm forced to play so much golf on PGA Tour like every weekend." He's like, you get sick of it, you know. He's like,
Yeah.
"I want to take a break, but I can't." It's
Everyone's
like
like,
anything.
does he not have passion for golf? And you're like, what
Like-
does that even mean? Like, shut
Like
up.
he loves it, but he's good at it. He wants to still like it. He doesn't want to burn out.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, after 30 years of playing golf, I'm sure he's like, I could use a little bit of a break every now and
yeah.
then.
Imagine if a radiology group came up to you and was like, "Hey, we'll give you $10 million a year, but you only have to work 12 weeks a year. How much more would you like going to work every day?"
Oh God, I'd try so much harder on those days.
Yeah. So I mean, it just makes your life so much better.
I did see
Not
it.
me.
So stupid.
I saw Darren Ravel. He's like, I don't know. He works at ESPN. He's some loser, and he always talks about like finance stuff. And he's
Yeah.
been talking. He's like, he's
Darren
not-
Ravel is suboptimal, but go
Yeah.
ahead.
Is he? I don't know who he is.
Oh,
though.
he's the
He's
worst.
Is
person
he on
ever.
ESPN? You still watch ESPN?
No, it's on Twitter. His Twitter.
Oh,
I just like
Michael,
follow him.
picture a guy who's like 5'3", has a very like pale skin, hairy back complexion, and wears basketball jerseys with t-shirts under them.
And
And,
like
like-
never
and,
played a
like-
sport.
And
Yeah.
like he's always talking about money.
Yeah, and
My
like
favorite thing is when people don't play sports and they comment on sports.
yeah, but he's always talking about the live stuff. How it's like he's like these people they're just doing it for the money, and like the passion's like
Yep.
you're doing this for the money.
Yeah,
We're all doing
Everybody's
it for the money.
working for the money.
It's called
Yeah.
work.
Doesn't
What
make
are you
any
talking
sense.
about?
Liz, for those that don't know, my wife Liz is also a veterinarian, and she last year told one of the new interns, I forget what they were talking about, but she ended up telling the intern, the intern was asking her like about jobs, like how she should prioritize a job. And Liz told her just go to the highest paying job. And she ended up saying something to the effect of like, yeah, this is my job. I do this job for money, and that's that. And there's no shame in doing this job, being a vet, because my job makes me money and I have to have a job. Like,
and I have to have money to do things.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to have money to do things, I probably wouldn't work as like do a job that often.
Exactly.
People
to
think
do a
vets,
job.
and I think more so vets, but to a lesser extent doctors, should not think about money in any way, shape, or form. And like they should just, especially the vets, it's like this culture of like, oh, I'm just happy with what I got. I'm just here to help animals. That's it. And guess what? You get railroaded.
Yeah.
You do things like that.
Yeah.
Because your employer is going to be like, okay, well, I'm never going to give you a raise ever unless you ask me.
They just walk over you.
We're just going to pay you what makes sense for us to maximize profit off of you. And guess what?
Yeah.
That's not a lot.
You never want to be the person that's like, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey, I'm just glad you guys let me join the club.
yeah, like you need something. You're valuable.
Yeah.
Like, know your value, know your worth. And that's why these live. And you know, it's funny, every time. So I play, if I don't play with someone, I go out by myself, and I'm usually with like three, like it's usually like a mix of like an older guy, like a really older guy, like a 70, 80-year-old, and then like maybe two like 50, 60-year-olds.
Do they like coach you on how to get a divorce? Like give you advice and stuff?
They're always like,
no, here's what you do. You set aside 10,000, you put it in a safety deposit box in the Mirage. Then you set aside another 20,000.
What are you, Bugsy Siegel over there?
You scatter your deposits across multiple casinos along the East Coast.
You don't want a paper trail.
Yeah. Just some northeastern old 60-year-old guy golfing.
I mean, the guy I played with yesterday, Frank, dude, first of all, I love this guy because they were down carts. You have to ride with the person. So I had no idea who this guy was. So I was riding with him. He's like probably like 75.
Spent 3 hours with him. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like 5 hours yesterday. And yeah, he's super nice though. I mean, but his wife just passed away of ALS. He was taking care of her. She like went downhill quick. He's like, I kind of felt bad for him. He was like,
yeah,
he's a sweet old guy. He's like, yeah, I got nothing else to do, so I just come out here and play golf 4 days a week. He's like, people were going slow in front of us. He's like,
that's probably his therapy.
Yeah, he's like, doesn't matter to me. He's like, what am I gonna do when I go home? Then
I love that.
He was so cute. He took my number down, and he's like, well, because sometimes when I have my off weeks, I'll go and play during the week. And he's like, well, yeah, give me a call when you're out here. He's like, I'll come meet you up. He's like, just give me like, couple hours notice.
Oh yeah.
That's hilarious.
He's so sweet. Sweetest guy ever.
You just described Caitlin's like absolute dream is to be like,
oh no, this is Caitlin's dream. She would love him.
Yeah, this is like,
I just thought he was the sweetest old man.
He is so sweet. I just
so sweet.
Help it. I
thought he was sweet.
Yeah.
So Caitlin was probably like, she'd be obsessed with this. He's so cute.
It's Caitlin's any old guy that's walking on the street that's like kind of puttering along. Caitlin's like, oh my God, look at that guy. Do you think he needs some help? And I'm like, I think he's okay. Just walking on the street.
One of my favorite new TikTok accounts is this girl's like grandpa's, and like he thinks like my French 87-year-old grandpa, what he makes for lunch every day.
Yeah.
And he's just this old French man, and he just goes about it. The way he like cuts vegetables with a knife, he does that thing with his thumb.
Yeah.
That's what Androna does. That's how she cuts everything.
Yeah, they go in and they just
they don't chop it on the board. No. They just take it over the
Androna and her mom do that. That's how they cut every single thing.
They'll do like if they want to dice something, they'll like hold it and they'll go.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
everything is the thumb cut.
Yeah.
I mean, use a cutting board.
That's what I said. She's like, nah.
She's like, why would I do that? It's easy.
You just
I wouldn't listen to Michael either, but
you just picture Androna just speaking on New York and just cutting while she's talking on the phone. That's what she does.
This is great.
Yes, I can picture that.
Yeah,
I know. That's what I was saying.
I can see the exact scenario that's happening.
Dr. Nervava on the phone just chopping the fingers.
She sounds like a hot dog stand when she's on the phone.
I always say, well, who are you yelling at? She's like, am I talking loud?
What's it to you?
Yeah, that's
This
the thing.
is this
they
is my
always just
impression of
screaming.
Adriana when she's like shocked by what somebody says. Ready?
What?
Oh
It
god,
was gasps.
yeah, dude. I was just talking to Caitlin. Like Caitlin gasp all the time, and I literally was. I was going to. I had to turn in all my stuff to like leave my residencies. It's like my last week, and I walked around the corner to go get in my car, and like I almost ran directly into like an old woman walking in the car, and she literally let out the biggest gasp of all time. And I was like, I walked around the car, she goes, and I was like, lady, I don't know, what are you talking about? We didn't even come close to hitting. Like, relax a little bit. God. I was like, that's gonna be Caitlin in 10 years.
Adriana does that when we're like driving down the road, and she'll literally gasp like that, and I'm like, "What?" She's like, "They have horses."
Yeah, Caitlin does the same thing.
Remember,
like,
mom used to
"Jeez."
spot flowers and she would
Oh, yeah.
gasp like that, and she would go, oh, "Look at those azaleas blooming."
Yep. Those chrysanthemums.
Oh my God! Look at those crepe myrtles.
Crepe
Yep.
myrtles. She
God.
loves crepe myrtles. My crepe myrtles.
What is
I
a
gotta-
crepe myrtle?
I don't know.
Like a tall tree that like flowers. You got to cut back every year.
Is that the
It's
real
the-
name?
It's the ambrosia salad of flowers.
It really is.
No, they're pretty.
Cra-
They're actually pretty flowers. I
Is it
only
a
know
crate?
this because Lawson and Tiffany are like obsessed with flowers, and so are like Star and Spooner and all them. And they've got crepe.
Okay.
Lawson and Tiffany have crepe myrtles in their
Obsessed with
backyard.
flowers.
But do they just like? I think once you turn your 30s and you got a
The
home,
Cool
you're
Guy
just-
Club.
Yeah, you just start to
I
garden.
thought that
and
was like a
like-
60-year-old person.
No, they're like Lawson. Lawson literally will like putz around like an old man, like picking off bad leaves off his flowers and stuff.
Oh,
What?
He'll walk
Really?
around his pool and like get out the leaves out of his pool and like clip off stuff. It's
It's
so
like Vito
funny.
Corleone in the
Dude,
Orange Patch.
he literally is. It's so goddamn funny.
Hey guys,
Vito
so
Corleone.
so switching gears, I have to. I know I've told you guys already, but I have to announce this to the podcast. This is my student loan balance now.
Big deal.
Jeez.
Big deal. Can we get a round of applause?
Yeah, I
Never-
I made a nice 5-figure payment to kill it last week.
Jeez.
Let's go. I have to say it. So that's a huge accomplishment. You paid off your entire student loan burden before 40 years old.
Before
Not
the
many
age of
people-
40,
Not
paid
many
off
people can say they did that.
$150,000.
Not many people can say they have done that. You know, I mean that's a pretty good big deal.
I looked this up. The average amount
So
of
proud.
debt, the average amount of debt in 2016 when I was
Sell
all
your
done
car.
was 150,000. So I had literally the average amount of veterinary student loan debt.
And you were able to pay it off. And how
I
many
think-
years
was it-
total was that?
Less than 6.
Less than 6. Jeez.
Yeah.
You did a number on that. over the
Yeah, you
past few
sure
years.
did.
I really did.
Yeah.
I
I,
never-
guess that last chunk kind of helps. That's
Yeah,
fine.
the last chunk. So for those that don't know, I'm gonna make a video about this, but I sold an investment property and I made like a 6-figure profit on it off of like a $25,000 investment.
And how many
I-
years?
3.
Crazy.
Yeah, literally 3 years. And I was gonna sit on it, my wife and I, but then we decided we just with the economics the way they are in like the macro environment, we're just gonna pay down debt. I was like, oh, I could just literally delete my student loan with this house. So here you go.
Dude, you never have to log into a student loan website ever again. That's
God,
crazy.
I'm so jealous.
SoFi
after-
has no reason to contact me ever again
So jealous.
That's crazy.
until my
I-
daughter signs up for one in 16 years.
Yeah. that's true.
I don't know. Will she be even
No.
going to college by then?
They'll be
It'll
like,
on YouTube.
hey, they'll be like, hey, we're back. Good to see
Yeah,
you
I'm
again,
gonna-
James Cellini.
We're gonna at least subsidize like half of her school. I think if I can get half of it taken care of, that'll put her way far ahead.
But I was reading somewhere like if you open an account for her right now with like $6,000 to $10,000 in it,
Yeah.
I mean but when she's like retirement age, it'll be like 1.5 mil or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean like
Yeah.
that's all it takes.
It turns out there's a lot of time when you start at the age of 0.
Yeah.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, I'm like, why would it? Well, I was like, why didn't someone do that for me? A, B, I'm
'Cause
gonna
there wasn't
do that for my
$10,000
kids when I
lying
have
around.
it.
I often wonder the same thing, but
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah.
Also got super lucky. I only had like $10,000 worth of undergrad loans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we had the Hope Scholarship. thank God.
God, the hope's the greatest thing of all time.
Literally went to just went to school for free on the back of the lottery.
Yep.
We should
So-
just make Beatrice just go in state. That's all you gotta do. I'm gonna make
Yeah.
my kids go in state. Like,
Yeah.
you don't need to go to like Harvard or any place
No,
like that.
no
Yeah,
chance.
there's no reason
So-
to do that.
So yeah, what I wanted to show this and then also describe it, like it's a weird emotional feeling that I couldn't really fathom until it happened. And I think the biggest relief is the fact that like I've limited my options as far as what I can do with my money. And so from this moment on, the rest of my life, like there is no option to pay off a student loan. I only have the option to invest. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's good.
I've made my options like literally just like, okay, there is no other option.
Yeah, and that's, as you know, my biggest conundrum I face all the time
Yeah.
is to invest or pay down this.
Now
Chunk.
watch Joe Biden forgive everybody's student loans in like a month.
No, he's not. He's only going to forgive like
Yeah,
a
he's
little.
not gonna do that.
Do you
Portion.
even understand how mad I would be if he actually did that?
Oh,
Ugh.
well, I would be
I'm-
mad because I'm not on the government loan program anymore. I refinanced it to SoFi.
All right. So
So-
at least you're
so-
protected against me being jealous of you. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would, let me tell you something. I don't know what I would do. I would have to not go to work for like a month.
That would be like the most traumatic thing I could think of for you, Jim.
And I know people say like, well, you shouldn't be angry about others getting help. Sure, I understand what you're saying, but I also don't care. Like I would be so pissed. It
Yeah.
would be,
You'd be so mad.
I would have to take a walk, like a long walk when I found out. And just like, I don't know, I might even smoke a cigarette when I go on a walk like that.
Yeah, that's brutal.
It would be, can you imagine like paying all that money?
I
And
know.
then a month
it's
later,
gonna-
the government's like, hey, if you just waited a month, we would have given it to you.
Yeah, but they're not going to touch any high earner. They're not going to go out. No doctor, no lawyer, no veterinarian. Nobody's going to get their student loans paid. Well,
It's
A, our
probably-
balance is too high, and B, you make too much money.
You
Yeah.
know what would have been sick if Tommy's a resident, if he would have, if they do it and he qualifies because his income is like less than 80K a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd
How,
be nice.
how insane would that be if Tommy got it absolved when he was a resident?
Yeah,
Tommy
that'd be
would. That's
insane.
something that would happen. To
Oh,
Tommy.
first
You
of all,
know-
no, it's not.
you know what
That's
we
not
would-
something that wouldn't happen at all to me.
Tommy, you know what I would demand? I would demand that you give us a third of
Of
whatever you got.
Demand.
It's a man. Just give you 100K off the bat. Yeah.
Yeah, give me $100,000.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it's
okay.
just it's too much money to absolve all
no.
like medical education student debt. It's just ridiculous.
They wouldn't do
Yeah.
it for medicine or like post.
No.
They would probably just be like undergrad exclusively. You'd have to be
Yeah.
below a threshold.
Or even if they give us like, I think they were doing like $10,000 or whatever. I mean, $10,000 wouldn't even make a dent.
No, that's literally odd
Nah.
payment.
Yeah.
Do anything.
Yeah. Be like, okay, cool. I guess that's okay. I'll
Yeah,
take
so
it. But
the other-
like,
The other problem is,
Then the
I'm not
interest
saying I'm
rates will just
against,
rise
like-
again in results for that. You have to pay.
right.
You end up paying more.
The other thing that I've heard is that like the people that have all the student loans are the people that like make the most money.
probably.
Like they're all like professionals, like doctors and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I wonder, like, if they forgave all the loan debt, it's for people who aren't like making that much money to begin with, and does that help the economy in the long run? I don't know.
Well, that's like
Yeah.
that's like trickle down economics from the Reagan administration, right? That's
Yeah,
like
that just seems like
exact
it's kind of
line.
like an outdated philosophy to me.
Yeah, I think that's kind of become proven though. That's like not how it works, because rich people tend to be able to like hide away your money. That's like the idea of not paying
What
your
rich
debt.
people do that?
Yeah, this may come as a surprise.
They evade taxes.
But it's like not necessarily evading taxes, but like you put your money in, you put $1 million into a apartment
With
complex.
retirement-
It's like,
or-
yeah,
or
that,
retirement
money,
account.
that money's not going back into the economy. It's just chilling in an apartment
Yeah.
complex. And it's like,
I got a religious friend, a very close friend of mine. I'm not going to name names, but he's a Christian man, and he does a lot of investing in multiple different forms. And he was telling me about how he does like under the table hard money loan investing, and he there's no like transaction, so he doesn't report it.
Oh,
And I go, "Where'd you learn this? The Bible?"
I didn't even think
he-
about that with hard money lending. that
He
you
just
don't-
it's just like from one guy to the other. There's no transaction taking place, so it's just like okay, here's my money. It's just a money transfer.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
I wouldn't operate that way because then
Oh, of course not.
You operate on a handshake. I don't do that.
Yeah, no.
You know,
It does open you up from, but like just getting ruined on the back end.
it makes you more risk, taking on more risk to an already risky practice.
So let me ask you guys this. Your guys' student loans are like insurmountable, right?
Yeah. I mean, I want to say insurmountable, but they're pretty high.
Feels like it.
Yeah.
So
They're a
we talked about-
shockingly large number.
we talked about this a lot because it just looms over us so much. But like Tommy, like, do you think you could actually pay it off from what you know that you, or what you think you'll make as a radiologist and your living expenses and stuff? Like, could you do it in like 5 or 6 years?
Probably. I'd have to get like
Maybe.
Yeah, it depends on what I'm like doing specifically and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like I'd have to get much more like a financial advisor. But I think you probably could.
5 years is tough.
Yeah, 5 years is tough.
Because I mean, taxes eat away at our income pretty heavily. But you also got to realize if there was a way to funnel pre-tax money into your student loans, that'd be huge.
Yeah, that would be huge.
It's like a 401k model.
Yeah, I just realized that. Maybe the Biden administration should come up with something like that.
Yeah, that would be a huge help, actually.
Yeah,
And allow you to like lower your taxes.
Because then you're paying, and then you're like, at least I can make like a dent in this as I'm going.
Right. Are y'all's loans at like 5% interest?
2.9.
Yeah,
Well, that's good.
2.8. I forgot what it is now. 2.875.
I need to refi.
Somebody, so there's veterinary
Ridiculously
like
low.
finance groups on Facebook, and some guy posted, now is actually the worst time to pay off your student loan debt because there's inflation. And I'm like, okay, dude. He's like, well,
Your interest rate.
he's like, if you have debt, then the amount that you're paying every month just gets less and less. I'm like, that's not true, dude. That's not how this works. First of all, the
that's not how
inflation,
that works.
the only money that's undergoing inflation is what you spend on gas and food.
Yeah.
Or travel or
And things that are actually inflating. Not everything is inflating right now.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean your money. I see where he's coming from, but that's a very rudimentary way of thinking.
Yeah,
It's
I
not that
people,
black or white.
I'm obviously biased, but I was thinking like this before I paid off my loan. But I think people are a little too like debt happy.
Well, I
To
mean,
take on debt?
What's that?
To take on debt?
Well, they're just like, I don't know. I feel like people are just a little apathetic about getting rid of it
Yeah.
because they're paralyzed by the market, and like what's going on and everything right now.
Right.
And I just,
well, I mean, there's
I
a
can't-
huge debt problem. I mean, that's why these, especially with the next generation, I guess I'm still a millennial technically, but millennial and Gen Z, because that's why these buy now pay later companies are just raking in money, and that's also why Apple just started their own.
Oh yeah.
oh, did that?
Yeah, they were like, why would I pay a firm or Afterpay to do this when I could just lay away all of my Apple products and get the interest from it? So they started their own side company doing this.
Yeah.
Which is what Apple does best.
Yeah.
They just keep it all in the family.
I don't know. I think the paying down all the debt stuff is more of like a mental thing for me specifically.
Yeah.
It's like the relief of not having to worry about that is probably greater than anything, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. That's number. I don't even know what you could run any calculation you want and justify whatever you want, but like I said before, it just feels incredible that like I don't have to even think about this anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost immeasurable to be able to do something.
The problem is it's the same problem I face is, okay, so say like you, Jim, if you had $100,000 and then all of a sudden you worked so hard and you got that money and then you go and pay off your loans and you like worked so long for that money and then you get nothing out of it. So I think that's like well,
you don't really get nothing out of it.
I know, but it's the mental block where you're like, well, I worked so hard for this. I should get something in return for this six-figure payment to my loans.
I had the same thought. And here's what I realized is that the government gave me that money in 2007, when I was literally nothing.
Yeah.
To pay for my school. Like I literally just asked for $100,000 and the government gave it to me.
Yeah.
So like, like that was That's the part that everybody forgets. Is like, oh yeah, remember when $7,000 showed up every 6 weeks in your bank account or whatever the frequency was?
Yeah.
Like that was pretty sweet. Do you
Or
remember
just-
getting student loan checks and being like, oh yeah, it's time to party?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
that felt like free money, didn't it?
For a
I didn't
second,
really-
but then I was like, I know there's a gap where I'm not going to get this, and 4 months goes by, and $7,000 has to maintain this, and I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
well, I guess
January. It was like January and August.
yeah,
A whopping
$7,000.
$7,000 for 6 months.
yeah. It literally, that's what is it at the like? I think ours, Michael's was yours like this. It's like it was like 3-time installment throughout the year,
I
And
can't
it was like-
remember.
quarterly, and then but like the last quarter, like between it, they only give you 3 or something like that, and then that last quarter you'd have to make it last like double, so you had to like
Oh.
prepare to have the double thing.
I
so I
remember
think I
something
got-
like this.
I think it was like 6 months. I got $7,000, and I was like, "Oh, it's better last me 6 months with like
Yeah.
rent and gas and everything,
Food, everything.
food,
I
and
remember.
like
I remember running out of money.
utilities." And I was like, "Oh my god!" I saved up like so much that fortunately you're studying so much that you're like not really doing too much.
Yeah, you
We're
don't
trying
do
to
much.
save up as much as possible, just like get me through that little stretch right there. That's the thing about medicine that's crazy is you have to take out a loan to live. You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's not like an NP or something like that where it's like, oh, I can like work and go to school. It's like you're as a med student on like a surgery rotation, you're working like 70, 80 hours a week. Oh, and you're spending 50 grand a year to do that. So it's like,
Yeah, but the real criminal is, I've mentioned this before, is these damn dental residencies and orthodontic residencies. That those are the true criminals of the medical education.
what do they do?
Well,
You have to pay them.
the poor dental students have to pay the residency programs like $40,000-$50,000 per year just to be
What?
there. So they have to take out loans to like pay the hospital system or whatever practice.
Then take out a loan to live off of, basically.
Correct.
It's
It's the biggest. It's I don't know how it's legal. I don't know.
How is that allowed?
It's
How
just
does the
a-
dental community not be like, this is absolutely
It's a
unacceptable?
complete crime. You pay them to work there.
Because it
Oh
must be
my
the
God.
ultimate monopsony, as we learned that term a while ago.
Yeah.
Because the market is so upside down, where everybody wants to be a dental resident or whatever, that then it becomes, well, the only ones getting in are the ones willing to pay for it.
Oh
Right.
my God. I mean, first of all,
then-
there's no shot.
And then it
at getting a
becomes
residency if
the only
that's the
people that
case.
can do this are who can afford to do that, i.e., rich people. So
Yeah,
only
right.
rich people can become more rich and better
Yeah.
careers.
Yeah. I
That's-
mean,
That's where
That
this
is-
goes.
horrific. You couldn't pay me.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's literally criminal.
if they were like, you had to do that in medicine, I guess I'm not doing a residency.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
That's fine.
Guess
I'll
I'm
just-
out.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
just start
guess
doing
I'm
like
in.
general stuff. That's fine.
Yeah, work for a pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
Something.
It's like, have you seen that
Yeah.
TikTok that's going around? It's like the medical sales guy. And it's like,
What?
or some dude's asking people how much they make on the street. The guy's like, how
Oh,
much do you
yeah.
make? And he goes, $500,000 a year. And he goes, what do you do? And he goes, medical sales. And it's like all these residents and stuff being like, wait, what?
Yeah.
They're like, they make that much? They're like, what am I doing here? Like,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
awful.
I mean, not everyone would make that much, but it's definitely, you have the potential in the right market to get that for sure.
Yeah.
That's why, I mean, some of the reps make more than the docs.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Michael, you would be a good medical salesman because you're tall and you're handsome.
Yeah.
thanks. One.
Yeah.
But no, I'm
Good
not. I
smile.
wouldn't be. I wouldn't be because those guys are, you have to like hustle and you have to like, you have to like,
Sales.
you have to feign interest so much that I wouldn't be able
Yeah,
to
that's
do it.
that's the one thing that you don't have is the sales
Yeah.
pitch ability.
No.
I
Yeah.
don't see you doing that.
You have to go out to dinner late with these doctors and like, you don't care anything what they're saying, but you just
And
want them
you're
to
like,
buy your product. Yeah.
That joke
Yeah.
is hilarious.
Just buy this knee arthroplasty for God's sakes.
Yeah, for the love of God, this polymer.
Look, can you please just buy this endoscope system?
Just use one. I thought that's all I need. It's just one.
I need to go on this vacation, please.
Yeah. Just dying. Could you imagine the awful like conversations you have to have with a million people just talking absolute garbage?
I mean,
to you?
a good rep
I know
is
when they
worth their
come to
weight in
see
gold.
like me
Yeah.
in my practice, I don't say 2 words to them. So I'm like, well, that would suck to work with people like me.
Exactly. You know,
Like,
I won't
go
say,
away right now.
You,
I
are
won't
you one of
say
those people
which-
that hates them and they stand in the corner? You're like, this guy, get out of here.
I'm like,
I've
God,
I've
no
heard
way.
stories of
Uh,
because obviously shocking news here. Some doctors can be real a-holes. I've heard stories. I've heard, yeah, breaking news. I've heard stories of reps bringing products in to certain people. I won't name any names, and they've literally like looked at the product and just walked over and dropped it in the trash in front of it. Like, first of all, who does that? But that's the kind of stuff you have to deal with. You
told me, dude, I always retell the story you told me about a surgeon who walked over to like some patient's orders in the ICU and like slammed his hand down and was like, I effing told you not to do this. Do you know what story I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
But no, I'm just like shading my head because I'm just like, it's unbelievable. I mean, they just like throw instruments and stuff. I just don't know how you can act like that in any.
So they
situation.
took like the stuff and threw it in the trash in front of the guy?
Yeah. They just walked over and goes,
no way.
Like, they're like, here, try out this device.
And he's like, this sucks. Or
try it. He goes, try it now. Throws it in the trash.
Why would you even invite them? I'd be like, don't, like.
Because, you know.
How did dad do sales?
I don't know.
Because I'm sure he had to deal with
he's a
people
schmoozer.
like
Yeah, he's a schmoozer though.
Yeah, he can schmooze.
Some people have the ability to turn off the like this person's being an asshole to me, you know?
Yeah.
And just be like, I'm like, they can just turn it off and be like, this is my job. I'm only doing this because you're gonna give me a paycheck. But like, I can't, like, I'd rather be broke than deal with someone who's like talking to me poorly like that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing like you see when people mistreat like wait staff and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I can't stand. Just be nice. Like,
it's like a form of bullying.
Like, you know, everyone's just trying to.
We've all noticed and talked about this multiple times at dinners. When sometimes people that are with us, but when people are mean and rude to wait staff in a restaurant, I literally want to get up and leave and not associate with them anymore. The rest
Correct.
of
I lose all respect.
It's the absolute worst thing in the world.
Like all respect.
Yeah.
I mean, just like
they're out of something, and then what do you mean you're out?
How can it be on the menu and you're out?
I mean, what do you mean?
As if the poor waiter or waitress like
I know
purposely put out that menu knowing that it's out. Like, it's like so ridiculous.
I've been like along that vein. I've been trying to deal with my like permanent license. It's like the state licensing board has been like such a pain to deal with all that. And every time I call and talk to the people, I'm like, all right, don't yell at the person answering the phone. I was like, it's not their fault.
It's not them.
They have to deal with this all day, every day. They're not purposely dealing with my stuff and like hiding in the back, like so I don't get my license.
Did you ever get yours, by the way? Did it?
No, I've had to call. They literally have gone through this process, and they're like, everything's in like 2-week business, like 14-day business day, like increments, and they're like, well, it's past when we like usually do it, so it's like now I'll send an email. It's like we won't if it's not the time we give you.
Yeah, you just gotta stay on them.
Yeah, and they're like, if that 2 weeks isn't up, we'll do another 2 weeks. And you're like, why isn't it just the first 2 weeks in the general? And I'm like, this is so stupid.
Yeah, you have to call them like every day.
I might go down to the actual office in the city.
A little knock on the door.
Yeah. Caitlin,
hey.
She was like, bring cookies. She's like, I'm not even kidding. She's like, bring cookies over there.
Yeah.
Can you see yourself in the thought process where you're like, I want to speak to a manager at a restaurant?
No.
Or anywhere? Like,
I always said, like,
what could possibly happen that you would be like, I want to talk to a manager?
No,
I
would just be like, yeah, this sucks. Whatever. Bye. I'm not coming back. I'm not gonna.
I literally, I'm never one of those people. Like, even who was I telling this the other day to? And I was like, even if I order something, if I order like a chicken sandwich and they give me like, state treats, I'll be like, I guess I'll just eat state treats.
Exactly.
I don't care at all. I was like, oh, they probably messed it up. It's probably an accident. It's not worth me going over there.
Yeah, I'll just eat it.
Waiting for another meal. I'll just eat it.
Like, I got an order at a cafe messed up yesterday. This little cafe in Jamestown. Shout out to Jamestown, Rhode Island. And you could tell like the two ladies that run it were like swamped, and they were like way busier than they were capable. And I wanted everything lox bagel, not toasted. And I got onion bagel toasted with no lox on it. And I went back to the playground where my daughter was to open it up, and I was like, well, that one was just not meant to be.
Yeah.
But like, I wouldn't go back over there and be like, excuse me, in front of like 20 people and be like, I got my order messed up. Can
I would care.
Yeah.
Some people are different. Some people are like, well, you paid for what you that. I just like it's not worth my time.
How
But
about
like you paid $5 more, and you're like, I don't care.
how about when people say I paid top dollar for this?
Oh,
Oh,
and
top.
meanwhile,
dollar.
it's not even close to top dollar for it.
I know.
Yeah, $6.
Yeah.
Top
Or how about
dollar.
when people say that a restaurant is good because the portions were big?
Oh,
Oh,
I hate portion talk. I don't like getting no food, but at the same time, I don't like being like, if I didn't get a 10-quart or 10-gallon jug of pasta, it's not worth the
No.
plate. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
it's not going to be big. What
Olive
how
Garden, endless
much food do you
breadsticks.
need? Like, what are we talking about?
Is Olive Garden the worst restaurant?
Probably not
this
the
is a-
worst.
This is a hot take for me. I think Panera is the worst place on earth.
Panera's bad.
You'd be right. Panera's trash.
It's
Yeah.
disgusting.
And
People
I would
praise it.
estimate of all the job interviews I've been on, 80% I got a Panera lunch during the
Yeah.
interview.
Oh, they love
Yeah.
it. It's their favorite thing in the world.
The places I've worked didn't have Panera. And towards the last couple of interviews I've done, I'm like, if there's Panera here, I'm not working here. I won't do it.
That's all I need to know.
It's
about
not
it.
that bad, but it's very overrated.
We had an intern a couple years ago who went to interview for jobs, and she went to Indianapolis and worked for an ER clinic. And I was like, it was like downtown Indianapolis, and there's like I think it's St. Elmo's or something like that. That's a steakhouse there.
Yeah, with like the
And,
shrimp cocktail that blows your
Yeah,
face
I
off.
was like, I know there's a bunch of steakhouses and bar. I was like, make sure they like take you to a nice dinner because you're going to be working hard as a well-trained ER doctor. And she comes back, and I'm like, do you have a nice like interview dinner or whatever? She goes, they took me to Applebee's.
Oh,
Like, can you imagine going to Applebee's for an interview dinner?
Oof. Oof.
and that's all you're willing to spend on someone who's like a candidate?
Applebee's.
Yeah,
Well, that just shows you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure they're just taking care of their staff left and right.
Like,
And
I am literally going to a hospital where I will gross $1 million over the course of a year.
yeah,
Like, I will produce
For
for
you.
you. I mean, not make.
Not
I
me.
will produce
Yeah, for
for
you.
this hospital
Yeah.
$1 million worth of receipts, usually taking place at night if you're an emergency doctor,
yeah,
when boss is sleeping.
yeah.
And and I'm not asking for like crazy pay, but you can't take me somewhere better than Applebee's.
Yeah.
And
Well,
think about it.
the
$13
thought behind that
cheeseburger.
is you don't even have to go somewhere like super nice. Just go somewhere like a local restaurant. You know,
Yeah.
like show me the
Yeah.
town. Show me what you guys have to offer here. Like something unique about this town that I'm going to interview at. And Applebee's is it's like McDonald's. Like it's the same thing to me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
And
fast
it's
food
not-
restaurant.
It's
Or
not
it's
even
a
like
cookie cutter fast food restaurant.
yeah, like a chain restaurant.
Chain restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even like that like someone going to Applebee's is a bad thing. It's like if you can't afford $50 per person for a meal, that's fine. Like no one's saying you have to do that. But if you're owning a practice, a veterinary practice, you're not struggling on the financial end of things. Let's put
No.
it that way.
Yeah.
You
Of
can
course
afford
not.
more than a $10 cheeseburger. Like, what
But
are we
also,
talking
like,
about?
don't you want people to come there?
Yeah,
Like, it's also a write-off. So
it's also respectful.
yeah,
To, like not waste people's time. I'm like, what are you doing?
yeah, that's kind of embarrassing, actually.
Oh, it's so embarrassing.
Take me to the local farm to table restaurant or something.
So
you
wait,
know?
Oh, that's all you need.
Tommy, when do you start interviewing for your jobs?
So you can
Anytime.
Yeah, anytime now. I've started to look at stuff and like
What are you
little more-
thinking about?
I don't know. I'm kind of going back and forth between jobs that are like 100% breast and like I don't know, stuff that's like kind of more balls to the wall. That's you have more call and stuff like that, like faster partnership tracks.
More breast or more balls?
Yeah, or even stuff like 100% breast, like 4 days a week kind of stuff, no call. I'm kind of teetering back and forth with things that it's kind of just
And-
depends on the
and
job.
where
We'll
are
talk.
these?
We'll talk offline about the why I think one way or another.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that later.
Okay. No worries.
Okay. Where are these jobs that you're thinking about?
Mostly
Okay.
around the Chicago land area, like Illinois and stuff like that. I mean, I haven't
I knew
looked
it.
specifically around like
How
New
far away are
Jersey.
you willing to go? Like like around Illinois, because that's a big ass state.
I'd be willing to go pretty far, like up on the north side. I don't think I would go down to like the south tip or anything like that, but like I'd probably go
Like
up there.
Peoria,
Yeah, because you can get out into
Springfield.
the little further in the suburbs here, and then you can go up to Wisconsin if you need to. That's like a 40-minute drive, and that's not like too terrible. So I could definitely do that. I haven't like looked too much into places on like the East Coast and like Dallas and like Texas and stuff like that, but probably just that area. I did
Yeah.
see. I will say there's some teleradiology jobs that look great. They're very like appetizing because they got that hospitalist thing where it's like 7 on, 7 off. I'm like, man, a week off every other week does sound pretty.
Yeah, that's pretty
sounds pretty
nice.
nice.
But those can be brutal
Yes,
though.
it does.
Yeah,
You
no,
do,
they're
you get rinsed on those on those
Yeah.
days.
yeah. No, there's
But-
definitely some of those that I'm like, I'm sure the daily RVUs are like insane.
Yeah,
But it's
probably.
like 7
There's an
days,
RVU.
like
relative value
unit,
unit,
like
which is
how
how
you
they
measure.
productivity.
Yeah.
Really? You have a metric for it?
Yeah.
Pretty much each.
It's like a defense
study-
against opponent's average, like
Yeah.
DVOA for
DVOA.
doctors.
basically.
Above average.
each like procedure or imaging modality is graded off of complexity and
Yeah.
time it takes you and all this stuff.
Like an MRI.
How
of
many X-rays is worth an MRI?
a lot.
A lot.
I figured.
I think
Probably
it's
like
like
20, 30.
yeah, what is like
dude.
a chest x-ray is like 0.2 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So even more than probably 100.
Is
And
it
like a brain MRI or like a venogram or something like that of the brain is like
I can't
10.
remember. 6 to 10
Yeah.
something.
is it your worst nightmare when you see an MRI and there's a million spine changes that you have to note and like comment on?
if you can see they're all degenerative, it's actually not that bad because you kind of can like lump some stuff together.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't have to go like space by space.
you can, but you don't have to like kill yourself to be like, you don't have to be like describe every single type of degenerative change. You can kind of like
Right.
classify the degenerative change and be like, it is causing this much narrowing here, here, and here. And then kind of go from there. And it's like, if you have severe areas, it's like, obviously I don't care about the mild area that's like 3 spaces above that. And it's like just mild narrowing up there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, spine MRIs are a little unique because like I used to like stress out over them because I'm like, what if I, call this neuroforaminal disc bulge versus paracentral disc bulge or whatever. But then like a neurosurgeon told me one time, he's like, I don't care what you say. He's like, because I'm going to look at the images and I'm going to correlate it to the patient's symptoms,
Yeah.
on clinical exam. He's like, so if you say that there's central cord compression from a huge disc at L5 and the patient's like running a marathon over here, then I'm going to be like, oh, I don't care what the MRI says,
Yeah.
or vice
Right.
versa, so, I don't go too crazy on that stuff.
That's
enough.
the one good part is they're pretty competent. The only time I used to hate residency because it's like you're at a big academic center. They do we have like a big we had a big neuro program in neurosurgery, and so you get those like horrible post-op like bad
Post-op
cancer things, and you're like, oh, and there's like
Yeah.
heart a corpectomy site and like fusion hardware and artifact everywhere, and they're like, this person's having a little bit of weakness here, and they're like, what's the problem? I'm like, dude, I don't come on. Like, don't leave me-
Just you quickly glance at this.
Yeah, I'm like,
all
dude,
40 sequences.
yeah, I'm like, this is so complicated, man. You have no
Yeah.
this is
It's
so
like a
hard.
puzzle.
Yeah.
Hey, can you look through the susceptibility artifact and let me know how
Yeah.
7 looks?
They're like, is that some
Or I
diffusion
guess there is no
restriction?
L7.
And it's like the entire DWI is like shaking back and forth, and you're like,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
God. All right, so we're nearing about the end here. I want to show one fun thing that has nothing to do with what we talked about.
Okay.
The world's largest freshwater fish was just caught in Cambodia.
Oh,
So
is this-
random.
Can I get? Is this the stingray?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, this thing's
Guess how much it
huge.
weighs.
A
Well,
stingray.
it's
I
the
haven't seen a
largest
picture of anything.
freshwater.
Like 600 pounds. I don't know.
Actually, that's quite correct. It's 660 pounds.
Oh wow. I was just like, they can't have that much mass. That thing's huge though. But like those, how
Oh
much do
my
they? It's all
God.
central, right? Oh my
at
god,
that.
that thing's big.
Look at that thing.
Wait, but
I mean, that is such a big stingray.
wait, I
Dude.
thought the big manta rays are like that big though.
That's saltwater.
It's saltwater.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Oh wow.
Look at that thing.
Oh, and then it just disappears into the muck.
Oh my God.
I mean,
I think,
what?
I think it's
on
pretty
earth?
harmless. They don't like.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they won't just be holding it everywhere and like swimming with it. If it was,
Wait, I didn't even know stingrays were in freshwater.
I guess they.
Uh,
Dude, that
maybe-
thing's so big.
I
I mean,
mean,
what are they?
This
He
guy
or
petted
she?
it.
What is he even doing?
you're not supposed to touch them, but whatever.
Yeah. Why aren't you supposed to touch them?
You can mess up their skin easily when you touch them. They're really susceptible to skin infections,
Oh,
and they like most fish have like a slime layer over their
Yeah.
skin. And they always tell you, like when we were doing manta ray dives in Hawaii, they're like they'll get like this close to your face, but don't touch them because you can just like peel some slime off their skin, and then they'll get like a pyoderma,
Oh my god, poor thing.
and then their wing falls off and they're dead.
Good.
You
And
just,
you're like, thank you,
just-
Taurus, for killing the beautiful manta ray.
Wait, how big are because those manta rays
Beautiful
are as
ancient
big as
creature.
that? No, some of the huge ones.
Oh yeah, they're as big as that. When we did our manta ray dive in Hawaii, they were that big.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I thought those because I remember seeing them in an aquarium and they're like enormous.
Yeah.
Okay. Guess how big the biggest giant manta ray is, wingtip to wingtip?
22 feet.
I was gonna say 12, but I guess that's probably
30 feet.
Oh
holy
god. 30 feet.
30
like-
feet across.
It's like the size of my apartment.
oh my.
Look at that.
Good
Dude,
lord.
That
They're
thing is
enormous.
so big.
Dude, click
I
on
didn't
that
see
old
one
school
that
one.
big.
Like the old
Wow.
black and white picture.
This is a
Yeah, there we go.
so you can
Look how many
trust black and white
people-
photos because there's no like you can't like mess with it.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Dude,
But
what?
I did something like this. They were about
You
that
did?
size. Yeah.
What?
It
When?
was at night too. It was scary.
Those things are crazy.
You're crazy. I don't think I'd do that.
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
Dude, those things are cool, man.
All right. Well, I think that concludes this episode. We're right at about the 1 hour mark.
Oh, look at that.
Michael, congrats on not falling asleep.
Yeah.
Well, I felt good after my little 15-minute nap there.
There you go.
It might be the first time I've ever heard Michael take a nap.
Hey, I don't take naps. I feel like I'm
Michael-
wasting the day.
This is 15 minutes to feel
You gotta
better.
go.
You know what's weird? I try to take naps now and I can't.
Yeah. I
Really?
have to be dead.
I used to take like 4 hour naps if I wanted to.
Yeah.
4 hour.
Yeah,
I'd feel terrible if I did that. That's
I just
probably because
got-
you weren't getting any sleep back in the day.
that's probably
Now
true.
you're- Yeah.
Yeah, the sleep apnea. That's why I can fall asleep instantly in like the daytime. So sleep apnea.
I've also, random side note, I quit coffee like I told you guys, and I've never felt better. Like
Yeah?
I have so much energy now. Because in the morning I just drink a lemon water, like I slice lemon and just put it in water and just drink that. I don't know if I'm just more hydrated or what, but like I feel noticeably less tired now.
Seriously?
I will
Yeah.
say I had like a stint of acid reflux in med school and I had to go cold turkey, no coffee for like I think I did it for 2 weeks. First week was absolutely miz.
Yes.
And then the second week I did feel better. And
I
I think
was-
I even did it for like a month or so.
I had a pounding headache for 2 days and then I was fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm
It's
sure
crazy.
that headache was brutal.
Oh, it was
that first day.
horrible. Well, I mean, I was like, as I'm sure you guys do, I was drinking iced coffees like 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't do that. I drink like a small cup of coffee in the morning and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
it-
drink in the afternoon ever.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you just like, I just wanted something to have, like to drink all the time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I didn't want to be drinking like, things with calories in it. So I'm like, all right, coffee.
Yeah.
Drink water.
Well, that's what I do now. Thank you, doctor.
I do love coffee though. Coffee's
Or
so
a seltzer.
Good, man.
Seltzer.
You've got a dark matter coffee near you, man. That place is so good.
Dude, we just went there actually on yesterday.
Did you get a donut?
Yeah, we did actually. with friends are, so they have a Cafe Tola breakfast tacos
Did you
now
get
in
a
the morning.
donut?
Oh, they do?
Yeah, so they serve like them, and there's that other one that's like more like Mexican themed down Belmont, and they have like empanadas and breakfast tacos and all the pastries. And we had friends in town, so we went there on like yesterday before we went to the walk to the lake, and it was so I forgot how good their iced coffee,
Oh,
that
man.
Chocolate City, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Summertime, stroll by dark matter, take a walk outside with your iced coffee.
yeah, had a little
Can't beat
freaking
that.
do
It's
right
hard to beat.
donut. A little,
What'd you bring me?
That's hard to beat.
yeah. Hey, Adriana.
Oh, hi, Adriana.
I brought you some Croatian cookies.
Oh yes.
Ah,
It-
Ooh,
Are
I
they
love
are
that.
they Lavastanas?
little collage?
little cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah, gonna love that little
Yeah.
podcast cookie.
A little post workout recovery.
Yeah, it's clean.
Yeah, it's clean.
All
Good
right.
for you.
Well, everybody, please, if you don't mind hitting the subscribe button to our podcast, we're approaching 1,000 subscribers.
Please.
Yeah.
We just got 50 subscribers today. I don't know how we did it. I don't know what happened.
I told you I gave a little shout out on my video.
You
Well,
did not
shout
tell
out.
me that, but that answers my question.
I texted it.
That answers
I'll
the
double
question.
check. I'll double check.
Yeah. There's a couple
Um,
days where I was hovering
fact
below
check.
the -1 day, and I was like, "Oof." That's
Yeah,
not
we were
good.
kind of
we're-
wavering there.
Yeah, we were busy.
All right, Michael, do you have any videos you want to like plug that are coming out this week?
No, I mean, I took 2 weeks off. I finally posted a video, a little day in my life, private practice video, just, casual day. And then I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't decide if I want to do more vlog style or go back to what I usually do. Because I like doing deep dives on topics, but there hasn't been too many like healthcare topics lately. So not too
Other
many.
than Roe versus Wade.
Yeah, but that's like such a huge topic to dive into. And like,
Yeah.
maybe if I was an OBGYN, I would feel more comfortable diving into it.
Yeah.
But it's not really, obviously we all have our opinions on it. And I think it's, ridiculous that it was overturned, but like, it's
Yeah,
just
I mean, I
like,
think that's safe to say that we're all
Yeah.
like, that is complete bullshit.
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel very confident in saying that it's absolutely, we just went back decades and decades. And
Yeah.
it's
I agree.
Right.
kind of embarrassing,
Just,
but
just if anything, purely from a healthcare perspective.
yes,
Yeah.
from a health, it's very embarrassing and it's not good.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I'm not like to do a deep dive and like, man, that's a huge step.
You don't
Yeah,
feel
that's
like
a big,
you don't feel like the expert to inform
No.
people on
Yeah,
why
I
this
don't.
is
Yeah.
a bad decision.
yeah,
That's
I'll
like
leave that to my OBGYN
'cause-
friends.
Yeah. You don't want to. I don't want to make a mistake that I'm like because of my lack of experience in that realm. And it's
Right.
like, yeah.
Like that's not my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
make a mistake on that one. Ooh, you're gonna hear about it.
Yeah, exactly that too.
Yeah.
It's a very touchy subject too for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
All right, Tommy, what are you doing on social media besides retweeting people?
That's about it.
Cool. You gonna play some
Just-
Call of Duty this week?
I think I might because after I start a fellowship soon, so maybe it's
Very
just
good.
one last little.
I
push to
weep
it.
for your patience.
tell me, my DraftKings account needs some people to tell me what to do.
Yeah, I need. So you can message my friend. Apparently,
I
just
know,
DM
I'm
him, and I'll give you.
Yeah, I mean
picks.
that's what Michael was alluding to.
Yeah,
But
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
good one. All right, guys, like and subscribe at Dr. Cellini, at DVM Cellini, at Nothing Tommy. He is nothing. He has nothing. He'll never be anything.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
I'll never be
And
able to
all right, guys, peace out. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
subscribe.